Hello. Right, okay. So during COVID, we added to the website a little short story called Next Steps, and we're going to do a reading of that now. Are your eyes up to this?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, we'll give
But
them a
only
little
if I-
bit of help.
Only if I wear glasses.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yes. Okay, mine are filthy, but here we go.
Ooh, mine feels
Right, okay. Nothing better than filthy glasses.
Can't see what I can see.
Next steps. Crisp and cold. A thin layer of ice coated the ground, just enough to know where people had walked and which cars had moved today. Of course, the side roads hadn't been gritted. Patches of treacherous ice made every footstep a gamble, every application of brakes a roll of a dice. With a crunch of gears, a very distinctive white van turned the corner into Whitworth Road and began a slow kangaroo before a pedal was pressed and reluctantly the vehicle slewed to a stop outside number 95. At 93, the curtains twitched as Mrs. Beneventi turned her head and mouthed something back into the room and soon was joined at the window by another head. Not seen one of them in a long time. Used to get them in our place for maintenance work sometimes. Alberto sipped his coffee. They were being phased out by the 70s when I started. They brought in more modern ambulances. Pity that one's not been well maintained. I can't think why it's being used.
It'll be this COVID thing.
Isabella sighed.
What is it anyway?
This COVID thing? What, is there a shortage of ambulances now? Have people been bulk buying? Or are the ambulances getting sick, huh? She sipped her drink.
You know what I mean. Everything's changed now.
Alberto nodded. It's a Morris LD30 Mark III, I think. Maybe they're filming Heartbeat or something.
Not in Oxford.
Isabella shook her head.
They only make that detective thing here.
The driver's door slammed shut as the driver, in traditional paramedic green, opened the back doors and checked inside.
Ooh.
The old wooden gate to number 95 gave a little resistance and then came away in his hand. He looked closer. The wooden upright posts had rotted away to the point they would never support the gate again. A job to be done. He placed the gate to one side and carefully placed each booted foot down, aware of the peril of the ice. His gloved hand reached out and rang the doorbell. It was hard to know if it had worked. He heard no sound, neither ringing nor movement inside the house, maybe too soon for movement. The curtains at number 93 settled again as he considered ringing again, or maybe the knocker. Actually, there wasn't a knocker, just a letterbox. He gave the bell another attempt and peered through the letterbox at the old-fashioned hallway. He couldn't see that being decorated any time soon. Ready to close the letterbox, he became aware of a gasping of breath. 2 breaths, 3, and then a walking frame moving out of the front sitting room.
Still on number 2.
Then the hands holding the walker,
At 3.
and then finally the elderly gent guiding it. Take your time, Bernard, he shouted through into the hallway.
Who is it?
Called Bernard. It's me, remember? I said I'd be here at 11. Bernard shuffled slowly towards the door.
11 what?
Past his coat rack, past his hat stand,
Past wind.
past his photo of dear Gloria, and past Win.
Dear Gloria.
Reaching the door, the balancing act began. He needed to support himself on just his left hand as he reached for the door handle with his right. Halfway there, he nearly toppled, grasping the door frame, the walking frame even with relief. The heavy gasping began again. Be careful, Bernard. Take your time. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Having caught his breath, Bernard reached again,
Caught you.
more carefully this time, and grasped the handle.
Where have you been?
A turn, a click. It was open.
Oh dear. Wait a minute.
He gasped.
I need to step back.
A shuffle. Ali shuffle.
I'll give it a push. Okay, give it a push. Oh, please.
The paramedic on the doorstep brought no flicker of recognition to Bernard's tired old eyes.
Who the fuck are you? I'm sorry. Who did you say you
I
are?
spoke to you a few days ago, Bernard, remember? Today's the big day. Are you ready?
Who are you? No, I'm not ready.
Yes, we went through some stuff. You signed some papers, remember?
No, I don't remember any. I don't read the papers anymore.
No, well, to be fair, Bernard,
Just watch porn.
your memory, it's not very reliable, is it?
I don't remember having any memory lapses at all, you prick.
The paramedic passed Bernard some papers. We agreed it might be better, Bernard. Is that your signature on the bottom?
Never signed my bottom. I'm not sure. I think so. I don't really.
Come on, Bernard. Let me pack you a few things.
Gloria.
Through the double iron gates and up the long curved driveway, the old ambulance stuttered to a halt adjacent to the archway that formed the entrance to the Summertown Cedar Trust care home. The ambulance pinked itself into silence.
Bing!
Bernard looked wearily at the doorway. Next steps, Bernard. It's lovely inside, you know.
Why have you brought me here? Am I going home soon?
The paramedic smiled reassuringly. Let's take a look, Bernard.
Oh.
Wheeling a chair around to the passenger door, the paramedic gently guided Bernard down the 2 steps from the passenger seat and helped him into the chair. Let's put a warm blanket over you. We don't want you getting cold.
I haven't taken the second step.
How you take it now. Tucking the quilted blanket around him while he made the second step, the paramedic asked, Are your nudges warm enough now? Bernard nodded silently. Up the gentle ramp through the main door and into the warm reception area. The chair was steered towards the front desk. The young receptionist, a very pretty young thing, Bernard thought, smiled sweetly as she made eye contact with the paramedic.
Is this the gentleman you tell us about?
The paramedic smiled back. This is Bernard Talbot. I've got all his papers here.
Lovely.
She turned to Bernard.
Let's have a look at your new room.
I'll bring his bags in, the paramedic offered.
Don't get off my bags.
The snow was coming down thicker now as the ambulance returned to Whitworth Road. The tracks in the snow from earlier invisible now. The paramedic even returned to the rear doors, opened them and stepped inside the vehicle. Inside he changed out of the paramedic greens and slipped back into his own comfortable old torn suit. He picked up the first box of the few. He picked up the first box of the few he still had and stepped out into the cold again. By the time he'd reached the gap where the gate had been previously, the door on 93 was opening, Mrs. Beneventi's curiosity getting the better of her.
Hello?
She called.
Is everything okay with Bernard?
He put the box down and gave a sad smile. Not really. He's had to go into care. He's not been looking after himself very well. I've just moved him in. I found him a lovely place. He'll be happy there once he gets used to it. Isabella looked puzzled.
What are you doing with those boxes?
Ah, yes, he smiled. Dear Bernard has asked me to look after the place for him now.
Aren't you the paramedic that took him in?
He laughed. No.
Would you like to take me in?
I can see the confusion, though. I just borrowed this ambulance for today. No, I'm not a paramedic. My name's Morose, Chief Inspector Morose of Oxford Police. He took a step towards the door and stopping, turning his head almost 180 degrees, owl-like, to face Mrs. Beneventi again. I do hope you don't mind a bit of killing joke blasted out at deafening levels at 3 a.m, because I plan on welcoming myself to the neighbourhood.
I slay myself. Press stop now.